So you're starting a recruiting agency. Employers are always going to need to hire, and they will always pay a lot of money for good recruiters. In our first 18 months, we drove over $350K in revenue, but we need to cover the 4 main things that you need to have in place, and I'll also let you know the biggest mistake that I see recruiters make when they're first getting started. So let's jump into number 1 is you need to choose a niche. And there's 2 reasons why this is so important. Reason number 1 is it's going to be less work and you're going to make more money. So here's an example of your first client who is hiring for one specific role. Let's say you build a pipeline of candidates and you get somebody hired or don't get somebody hired. If you're not planning on selling in that industry or in that niche, then all of that work you've done with that existing candidate pipeline is a complete waste. You just throw it away. You want to be in a niche so you can build up 2 or 3 candidate pipelines for specific roles in a specific industry and then try to find more clients to get those candidates hired. And reason number 2 to have a niche, and this is even more important, it's going to make your sales process a lot easier. Think about this really simple example. So let's say me and you are starting a bar, and we'll just say Philadelphia. We're starting a dive bar. And we hit a couple roadblocks. We need a consultant to help us get over this hump and get to point B, which is we want to start slinging drinks and start making money as quick as possible and start to scale from there. Maybe open up a couple more locations. There's a lot of consultants out there, general business consultants or entrepreneurs that could give us really good information and get us to point B. But if a bar consultant comes to us and offers up services, we're more likely to go with that bar consultant because he has dealt with clients just like us. He knows exactly what issues we're facing. And for us, we know that somebody who is very industry specific is going to just be able to hit the ground running a lot faster and solve our problem. Number 2, we just want to find work. We want to get started. So stating the obvious here, but there's 2 things we can do here as well. First, we can just start selling, or number 2, we can find a recruiter that is working on splits and already has the client in place. So what is a split or a split agreement? So if I have an engineering position that I'm looking to fill for my client, let's just say the fee that I get is $30,000 if I make that hire. I'll work with other recruiters all the time if I have an abundance of roles, and I'll say, hey, if you find me this hire, I'll give you $15K so you don't have to keep trying to find clients. From there, you can try to place that candidate into a role. Then you can also get started on your sales process. You can say, hey, I'm working on this role already. I'm working on this engineer position. Would you like to see the candidates that I have? Before we get to point number 3, check out recruiterrocket.io. The free Facebook group is in there with hundreds of other recruiters that are building their agencies, as well as a bunch of free stuff on that website. You can also join the Patreon that's starting at $9 a month right now with a course on exactly how to build your agency from ground zero. Point number 3 is we need to create trust. And this is an underrated portion that I see is a huge mistake for a lot of recruiters out there. So we're reaching out to Jim. He's the senior VP at tech company ABC, and he sees our Yahoo email address, can't find any information on our company. So Jim and a lot of other decision makers go through this stuff with recruiters quite a bit. And the last thing that they want to deal with is recruiters that make the problem worse. So this happens a lot more often than you think. So if he's hiring for a position or a few positions, he takes on a few recruiting agencies or one recruiting agency, and he finds out they're consistently missing the mark with candidates. Now he's taking a lot of his team leaders out of their revenue generating activities and bringing them into interviews that are missing. So the company's losing money, they're not making the hires, and the headache has now officially gotten bigger. If you are not instilling confidence and trust from the get, and there's plenty of data, even in B2B scenarios in sales, where if you're not instilling that trust, people just are not going to want to put their livelihood on the line to start working with you. So we need to make sure that we have our email address in place, a professional URL, super easy. You can set that up in 10 minutes, plenty of YouTube videos on how to do that. Create a Facebook page, create a business LinkedIn, go to Fiverr and create a logo. Spend 10 bucks on a good looking logo. And at some point in time, you want to get at least a one-page website up. Number 4, we are going to build our sales machine. So sales cures all. When you have a lot of clients, it's really the best problem to have is driving revenue, getting more people placed. So we need to find those clients first. So how do we do that? First, you want to just start off and find all these companies that are hiring. Usually I'll go to a job board on LinkedIn and find jobs that are in my niche and start my process. I'll do my cold outreach. I'll do cold emails. I'll do cold calls. I'll reach out to them on LinkedIn. Just getting started there, sending out those connection requests and inquiring and following up. It's going to take more than just one email. Then you get them on a phone call, and then you close them on your contract. So that's how you start your recruiting agency. Check out recruiterrocket.io, join that free Facebook group, get all that free stuff, come hang out, come build with us.